Hyundai brought in their top 2 Ioniq 6 models in July last year. Since then, they've added 2 more models to the lineup. The Ioniq 6 still looks like a certain German performance car from the rear and a certain Japanese performance model from the front. That's not necessarily a bad thing. In this video, we'll look at how the Ioniq 6 differs from the Ioniq 5 and how it matches up with its rivals. The Ioniq 6 does not look anything like the Ioniq 5. The former is a super sleek sedan, while the latter is a very spacious SUV or crossover to be exact. But both cars are multi-award winners. What you're looking at now is the Ioniq 6 Max rear-wheel drive. Max speed for all variants is limited to 185 km an hour. The Max all-wheel drive is quickest to 100 km an hour at 5.1 seconds, followed by the Max rear-wheel drive at 7.4 seconds. The lower two variants take 8.8 seconds each. Range-wise, the Max rear-wheel drive leads at 614 km using the WLTP cycle, followed by the Max all-wheel drive at 519 km and 429 for the lower variants. The Ioniq 6 shares a few things in common, like this grille flap which opens automatically to help cool the battery. The COD is 0.21, which helps with efficiency. While the design of the Ioniq 5 was polarizing, the design of the Ioniq 6 oozes refinement and elegance. Both cars are head-turners nonetheless. The Ioniq 6 has something called the IFS, or Intelligent Front Lighting System, which detects approaching vehicles and prevents dazzling effects from the high beam for other drivers, while securing clear visibility for the driver. The pixel design can be seen throughout the car, from the dual LED projection headlamps with intelligent front lighting system, side mirrors, parametric pixel LED rear combination lights, and even on the steering column. There are even some on the front lid. To me, the design of the Ioniq 6 looks to be inspired by the 911. The spoiler looks a lot like the one on the Carrera. That said though, Hyundai's head of styling, Simon Lowsby, says classic streamliner cars like the 1947 Stout Scarab, the Phantom Corsair and the Saab Ersab were the main influences. I have to say that the matte black finish really suits this car. It provides perfect contrast to the LED combination lights. Lyna likes the vertical bars either side of the reverse and fog lights. I wasn't too keen on that. I actually mistook them for rear diffusers. The undercarriage looks pretty flat as you can see. That should help with aerodynamics. Here's another look at the rear spoiler. Tell me it does not remind you of a Carrera. Tell us what you think in the comments. Do you see those grooves just above the spoiler? They could be diffusers. I love their attention to detail. The Max rear-wheel drive and the two models below it ride on 225/55 R18 rubbers, while the Max all-wheel drive rides on a bigger 245/40 R20. Depending on the brand and model, that's 600 to 1000 ringgit per tyre respectively. All models ride on McPherson struts at the front and multi-links at the rear. The boot has a capacity of 401 litres and it can fit up to 7 cabin-sized suitcases. The Tesla Model 3 can fit 10. Is that a significant difference to you? Let us know in the comments. The opening is not the widest, but the boot is deep. On the Ioniq 6, you can fold the seats with a 60-40 split by pulling on a lever. You can't do this on the 2022 Ioniq 5. You can on the 2024 facelifted model. There's some space under the floor of the boot to keep the charging adapter and cable. So here's the lever, just pull on it. And that's the case for the charging adapter. And this is how the seats fold. Pretty flat. I think a soft fold feature would be nice here, since this is an upmarket car. The buttons to open and close the boot is lit, so it's easy to see at night.
But also, cannot put something like maybe your camera bag.
The rear-wheel drive models get a bigger 45-litre frunk, while the all-wheel drive version gets a much smaller 14.5-litre frunk due to the additional motor at the front. Press the 6 raised pixels on the flap to open it. The lights indicate the battery's charge level. It takes about 7.1 hours to charge the 77 kWh battery from 0% to 100% using AC 11 kW charging, and as fast as 18 minutes to charge from 10% to 80% using DC 350 kW or 73 minutes using DC 50 kW charging. The charging adapter has a vehicle to load or V2L socket so you can plug in appliances. You can literally plug in an electric kettle and make yourself a cup of tea. Please use the outside V2L socket and not the one on the inside. The light rear-wheel drive and plus rear-wheel drive models uses a 53 kWh battery and takes 5.5 hours to charge from 0 to 100% using AC 11 kW charging. It takes 18 minutes to charge from 10% to 80% using DC 350 kW or 58 minutes using DC 50 kW charging. The interior uses a mix of soft-to-touch and hard recycled materials. Doors are solid and noise insulation feels like it's better than on the Tesla Model 3. You notice how good the insulation is as soon as the door closes. All model variants except for the light rear-wheel drive variant gets a Bose 8-speaker sound system. The light rear-wheel drive gets a 6-speaker sound system. Door pockets are on the narrow side and could have been lined with soft material to prevent noise from things moving around in there. Some other cars have felt coating, but it gets a bit tricky to clean when something spills. The 4-dot interactive pixel on the steering wheel tells you if the car is ready to drive, if the car is on reverse, drive mode and battery status.
So when I do something, let's say I reverse, this is a red color. Okay, I changing the mode. This one is a sport mode, green is a eco, white is a normal. He will show you everything when you do, because now the door is open, I cannot do reverse because my system. So he will show you what is the thing lah. So echo D, echo P. He will show you the color, everything.
Seats are leather for all except the light rear-wheel drive variant. Seats are semi-bucket, firm and comfortable. The Max variants get the relaxation comfort seat, but without the added leg support that the Ioniq 5 has. Still nice to have though. Controls are similar to that on the Ioniq 5. It's not hard to learn where everything is and the placements are quite intuitive. The two 12.3-inch screens are sharp and we had no issues with glare. The center console is fixed in place unlike on the Ioniq 5. We found that feature to be useful but would be difficult to implement in this car. Notice how quiet it gets when the door is closed. That's where the digital side mirror display would be, but that tag has not been approved for use over here yet. That said, the car still displays side camera view on the instrument cluster when the signal stop is tapped. That's the right, and that's the left signal going there. There are still some physical buttons and toggle dials to be found, so you don't have to go through the touchscreen to get to certain features like the air conditioning feature. More manufacturers are seeing the benefits in that. You don't want to be fidgeting your touchscreen too much. While you're driving, it can get distracting and sometimes voice controls can get instructions wrong. We think EVs should still have start-stop button to prevent people from accidentally stepping on the accelerator and launching the car into a fail army video. Now the door window controls are now located on the center console. Not hard to get used to. The car is still spacious, but the rear view is not as good as that on the Ioniq 5. This view should give you an idea of how spacious it is back there for the rear passengers. You'll see a bit more in a few minutes. The steering wheel feels good, nice thickness. Controls are not touch sensitive, fortunately, so chances of activating a feature by accident is greatly reduced. Lots of storage space, and unlike the Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6 comes with USB-C ports, 2 in front and 2 at the back. There's a single USB-A port available too. the Ioniq 6 gets a much faster wireless charging compared to the Ioniq 5. Nice ambient lighting, which is standard on most EVs. The Ioniq 6 could do with two-tone vanity mirror lights on the sun visors like on the Cherry Omoda E5. Very useful for those who like to put on makeup in the car. Boss seats controls are available just like on the Ioniq 5. Now notice the difference when you open the door. Excellent sound insulation. The door actually opens wider than what you see here. Again, you get ambient lighting. A mix of hard and soft recycled materials on the panels and some storage space. The seats don't recline like they do on the Ioniq 5, but it's actually spacious back here. If you're 5'6" like me, you can easily fold your legs. But there's not much room under the front seats, so those with long legs can tuck their feet here. Lyna's 5'4", so it's really roomy for her. Here are the USB-C ports. There's also a V2L below the rear passenger seats, so your kids can plug in a laptop to entertain themselves if you're stuck in a bad jam. Here's Kelvin, who's 180 cm, comfortably folding his leg.
So I can sit like this. Comfortably. It's a leg room.
The center armrest is standard. It would have been nice to have a tablet or phone holder. No through load here. I think that feature is popular in places where you can ski. There are pockets behind the front passenger seats. I just realized that many new cars don't come with that now. ISOFIX points are visible, so that's a plus point. Here's some trivia for you. Kelvin explains why there's LEDs on the spoiler.
For the door spoiler, it give you the norm for the aerodynamic. So aerodynamic for the EV car is very important because it can more range, can make the car more range. So you will see point here is a white color. White, not the all black. What is a white color? What is a
Got LEDs or
okay? This
bottom and top
is for
the red light.
The lorry.
Oh, so they can see.
High. You cannot see the car. So this for the lorry one. But interesting thing is, if we are driving the car, when we are driving the car, we at the back seat, we only see here one line only. We cannot see the upper one. But in the lorry, you only can see it.
If you ever find yourself parked in a tight spot between two cars and you can't get into your car, this is a genius solution. I know this works because I've seen an EV6 owner use it in a parking lot. The EV6, Ioniq 5 and 6 share the same tag. All you need is your key fob and you're good to go. Right, so Kelvin has volunteered to be an obstacle to test something, right? So Kelvin is in no danger as he's done this many times. The car will stop when it detects an object in front or behind depending on the direction it's moving in, even if you keep pressing on the button to move. Cool, huh?
Yeah. Because when second thing is when you release, you just only brake, but you just haven't released.
No, I didn't release.
The
thing stops first, then you release.
So he is scanning around the thing, so he will attention.
Very good. Thanks to Kelvin and Simon W Auto Hyundai Penang City Store for letting us review your cars. If you like our content and want to see more, please consider leaving a like and do subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.